Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Hi5. My name is Showstar, the DJ. I have a very interesting guest today. Okay, he's an award-winning. He tours the world. He talks too much, and he's a gospel artist. So this gentleman I'm with, okay, I'm not even going to beat about the bush. I'm going to let the camera roll, ladies and gentlemen. ABEL Chungu in the building.
What's up, Showstar?
How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I can't complain.
Great, man.
How you doing?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
I'm hoping none of us walks out of this show. I'm hoping that it just goes all the way to the end.
I'm telling you, this track record of chasing your guests, this is the stuff.
I do not chase my guests. I'm just hoping none of us walks out and none of us comes out.
Fuming.
I'm just hoping.
Nah, man. No. I've got a guitar. It's some kind of jam live on air.
I know, right?
I'm telling you, I know the dope boys would be happy.
I know, right? When things, when you start out something good and things don't end well, the devil is always happy, Yeah.
No.
But let's not do him proud today.
Yes. Let's talk, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Can't complain. You've been doing so much.
Yeah.
Touring around.
Yeah.
I like that. And recently you were appointed chairman for. I know it happened from the last time we talked. I know it happened just back at
Jam Corps.
Yeah. How's that going?
It's good. Very, very challenging.
Okay.
Very challenging.
Before we go to Zamcops, let's talk about the tours that you've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
How's that been going? Working out?
It's been good. I think more. My tours have been more of a music discovery. You know what I'm saying? You have to, for the next project, last year I'd stopped, basically I decided that was my last project. But it reached...
Like you decided you wanted to stop music?
Yeah. It was like, it's a wrap.
Because...
You know what I'm saying? I think you reach a point where you feel like you're on a plateau. You know what I'm saying? Like there's, you want to climb a mountain, but you reach a plateau and you're like, there's something else that needs to be. Something different needs to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like for me, when I make music, it's for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? For the listener, for the people. But once music starts being taken your music is just categorized like everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, when's the next track drop?
Oh, yeah, yes.
And meanwhile, you had so much content that you were talking about, that you were sharing. Because for me, I was very album focused. For me, I never even used to I would introduce the whole album to everybody on the night I'm releasing it.
Yes.
So I always wanted people to listen. I love it when questions like, what did this song talk about?
Yes.
What was it meaning? But then after, when you start realizing that it became a feel of, celeb, shani, whatnot.
Oh, yeah,
things
yes.
you were not really looking for. You were never really looking to be famous. You just wanted the message to be heard. So I reached a point where I was like, you know what, I think I'm done. So when I announced it, I think what really, really changed was the response from so many different fans, people who had been impacted by the music personally. When people start telling you those personal stories of saying this is what your music did for me, this is how your music, and I think the icing on the cake was when a guy sent me a video of this guy's in the back of a cab, and I didn't recognize the place because it looked foreign. So I saw the man in the front of the cab. I know one of my songs was playing, "We're on Fire," and so the guy in the back seat who's shooting is asking the guys ABEL Chungu? He's like, and the guy who was driving the car is like, yeah, ABEL Chungu, I love ABEL Chungu. He's very good. So, and I hear a very thick accent on the man. So my friend says that, he's like, do you know where that is? I'm like, no. He's like, that's Iraq.
No.
Yeah, he's like, that's Iraq, bro. He says, don't stop doing what you're doing. So
Iraq, dude.
Yeah, so I decided, okay, I started traveling the country. Obviously, I got more involved again with my kids at the orphanage in Dola.
Yes.
And so it even won me a humanitarian award last year.
Yeah.
And
congratulations,
so while I was in Dola, I was doing some things with the kids there, and then there was Color Fest.
Yes.
So Sauti Soul was playing. So somebody's like, hey man, would you like to meet Sauti? I'm like, man, I would love to meet them. So there was a guy a friend of mine called Leandro, he was shooting camera work for them. Then he was at the hotel shooting, and then he calls me up, he's like, dude, where are you? I'm like, I'm at the lodge. He's like, bro, it's like, you won't believe it. I said, what? He says, Sauti so want to meet you. They're your fans. I'm like, what? I'm not
I want to meet them guys.
I'm like, and the moment I show up at the hotel where they're doing the meet and greet, they're like, ABEL CHUNGU, and so I'm not even kidding, bro. And they're like, ABEL CHUNGU. So, and obviously people are thinking, where's this story going? So we got into this conversation where, I think for a moment I realized that there's a bigger, you know what I'm saying? There's the bigger world out there. There's places where your music is reaching where even I would want to go. So the goal was like, okay, you know what? I need to go. I don't know how far this music has reached, so I want to see. So I said, okay, let's try it. Let me try. If I'm going to explore the world, let me explore sounds. So even last year I went to Kenya. I got to work with different Kenyan producers. I worked with even South Soul. We did a song together.
Awesome.
They're mixing. They actually told me, says, listen, we'll do a song unless you come to Kenya.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so I was in Kenya. I was in Uganda.
Like, dude, I'm here now.
Yeah, from Uganda I went straight to Kenya. You know, and came back in. Also, like the biggest hit we've had recently was done with a producer I've never worked before, but we've been friends for a long time, KB.
Oh yeah,
We're
yes.
doing extra
I
time.
love that song, man.
Yeah, so different projects for I Care About Her, and it's just been really nice getting a chance to work with different guys. One of the best songs, which I haven't even released right now, I did with Cash Roll.
Cash Roll, yes.
Yeah, it's called Good Vibes. And the beat is just so sick, and we're just, you know, so I'm working towards this project where I'm taking
Different sounds.
Even yesterday I was on Instagram and Twitter, and I said, send me new music. I want to hear new music. So
Yeah, I saw you when you said something like, send me 3 songs.
Yes. Ah, man.
Like my life depended on it. I want to listen.
I slept late. I slept like 01.
You were just getting
just
songs.
listening to music. Like I was just like, hey, what is this song? Who's this artist? What is this? Oh, snap, from Malawi, from Malaysia to what? I'm just like, man, I've got a lot of work to do, man. So it's exciting. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. So you just mentioned that you worked with Soti. So it's gonna be on your next project.
So it's gonna be on my next project.
Is it like a love song? Is it like a gospel song?
It is. It's a love song. So it's you know, the thing is, I mean, people always asking me like, okay, why are you doing love songs? What is the difference between like love songs? I've always felt like all my songs are love songs. Because of how I interpret love, I always feel like pure love comes from like God, you know, and I feel from a person who's done a lot of weddings. You know, I do a lot of weddings. You know, you have people go to the altar.
Yes.
You have a pastor conductor, which means why aren't Christians making music that talks about their relationships, about good relationships, about good love? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But meanwhile, everyone wants to get married in a church.
Yes.
So to think that God doesn't want anything to do with that kind of musical love songs, I think for too long we've allowed it to be interpreted more, maybe because majority of love songs are maybe interpreted in a more sexual manner in that way.
Yes.
So we assume like, no, we can't do it.
Yeah,
but I feel like there's music that where, you know, couples want to enjoy. You know, we're facing again a marriage crisis in the country. You know, people are divorcing in numbers. Everyone is struggling. You know what I'm saying? It could be money. It could be just different things. People are not connecting, and so music has a way of, you know, crossing those barriers. You know, counseling you even when you don't want to go for counseling. You know what I'm saying? So there's songs that speak to you, and I think it's good that we make that kind of music. So even the song that we did, it's saying, I want to find new ways to love you.
Awesome.
You know what I'm saying? I want to discover other different types of ways that you respond to love, even if it takes a lifetime of journey.
I love it. Yeah. I love it already.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there are ways when you could just be doing the same thing, then it becomes boring, right?
Exactly. So exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about I want to find new ways of doing this. Then I love it already. So it comes. When have you figured out when you're putting out the album?
So this is the first time I'm going to be speaking on
Thank
camera.
you very much.
Yeah. So my main vision is I want to release it on November the 22nd.
November 22nd.
November 22nd.
Awesome.
And because in 2000, it's exactly 10 years. That's the exact date that I lost my dad.
Oh, okay.
So it's been exactly 10 years since that. So I wanted it to be meaningful and also a sense of becoming, because I think it's been a long 10 years of trying to discover who you are as a man in trying to fill shoes of somebody, you know what I'm saying, who you felt like never got to guide you when you're in your man stage now, you know what I'm saying? Because I think I just finished college when the same year he had passed away. But we were very close, and so it was just like it was a journey of now I'm raising kids, now I'm married without him, so it was more like what is you doing? So I felt like when my dad died, that was God stepping in and saying, listen, I've always been your father. So the project is going to be okay. I won't release the name just yet, but just know the word kingdom is in there. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, on that one, it might be a bit too late because you posted a poll.
Yes, we did a poll. I mean,
and we voted.
Majority voted
for Kingdom of Love.
Yeah, Kingdom of Love. Which one did you vote for?
Kingdom of Love.
Kingdom
obviously,
of Love.
It was somewhat complete. So there was one that said complete. And one just said Kingdom, and another one said Kingdom of Love.
Yeah, I get
so I went for Kingdom of Love. So thank you very much.
Yeah. I'm still trying to go for the Kingdom. I'm just like Kingdom. Yeah.
No, but you asked us and we voted. So thank you very much, Ebo. Do not betray us. Thank you very much. Can democracy prevail here?
Democracy. Sometimes you need a dictator in life.
Excuse me. All right, so tell me something. You're making everything sound so good. You're doing a collab with Sauti So, and the music is positive and love.
Yeah.
There was some people. There was a man of God around here who said that you are going to hell for doing a song with Chef 187 because he's a secular artist and you are gospel. It's sinful to do music with a secular artist. So ABEL CHUNGU, you are going to hell.
Ish, man. I think I wouldn't want to take him out of context because I think when I read the article, it said like Chef 187 is the one who's going to hell, and then I don't know if I was also tagging along.
Well, you're tagging along because you're working with a Cena.
I've seen posts and saying, black up yo. So I took a pin up on them guys. But like I think like if how do I say this in the best way possible? The gospel that we preach about God's unconditional love and Him telling everyone, come as you are, is the gospel I see in Jesus. How when it comes out of the Bible and attempts to create an institution of order, then you start seeing that it diverts away from what it was intended to be.
So just there, Ebo, I've seen you talk about an institution of order, and you say that sometimes it comes out and doesn't really reflect what Jesus was.
It doesn't really reflect what Jesus is. The thing about it is that so let's talk about Isenge specifically.
The song that you did.
Isenge was perfectly intentional in how it was. That's what I'm saying. Like when people stop listening to lyrics, they already make preconceived judgments. If you're listening to what Chef is saying, what I'm saying, the first line I say is, I remember when it was Jesus right at the center, as intended. It was just Jesus as mediator. Which means like the very purpose of the gospel was just to make Jesus the focus and have people have a relationship with God. God wants a relationship with people. So it's saying, the song is saying, Napabe is saying, let there be a relationship between man and God. From wherever you are, not these papas, not your deacon, not Shan, no one to tell you that you are unable to have a relationship with God. That was the whole purpose of the song. And when Chef comes and says, his verse was saying like, there's so much confusion because I'm hearing so many different things about what I'm supposed to be. And it's true, even like for me, people will ask me, are you a Christian? Yes. But then they'll ask you, what denomination do you go to? And if you visited enough churches, like different churches have different beliefs. Same Jesus, but like, no. Oh, that church doesn't allow you to wear makeup. That church
I was
doesn't
having this
allow
conversation last week on this show.
You know what I'm saying? That church doesn't want. So the question is like, where did we go wrong? Everyone is when they attempt to establish the institution. You know what I'm saying? To run the institution in the terms of, no, we're going to be absolutely holy. And the problem is you cannot have a holy church as long as that door is open to imperfect people.
Yes.
That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? And the gospel is an open door to imperfect people to come and meet a perfect God. So once you close that door, once you make it look like, no, those people can't come in because they're drunkards, those people can't come in because they're drugs, look at the way they're dressed, look at what the music that they make, like, allow people to encounter God. You know what I'm saying? Like
Allow people to encounter God. That's very powerful.
even when we're growing up, your parents used to tell me, "Hey, like look at the friends that you're playing with, they can end up influencing you." You know, it's the same. A relationship, a good relationship, will always influence you either for a relationship will influence you for the worst or the best. Sometimes you find people like, you know, he was a nice guy, then he married this woman, then the next thing, like, yeah, you know, guy's number is depression, what? You know what I'm saying? Because a relationship can affect you negatively. Then you found some guys like, this guy, bro, ever since his life, he's even gained weight, what? You know,
it's positive now.
Yeah, so I personally feel when people have a clear one-on-one relationship with God, that relationship will help them. You know what I'm saying? Through their hardest times. In the same way that I rely on that relationship with God. And I can't deny people that opportunity to come to God. Or I can't say, no, first quit your music, first do this. That's not what Jesus did. And so that's what icing is about. Even the bridge is basically the sinner's prayer. It's an opportunity for people now to give their lives to God. And I believe so many people have and responded to that song because it's just like that. It is what it is. And I felt like if I got a Christian artist, everyone will say, oh yeah, it's a nice song, you know, it featured Man 44, you know, it's Christians doing, you know, relationship. Yeah, it's easy to talk about. But then when you put chef, then it becomes a reality of what it means. You know what I'm saying? Would God want a relationship with somebody who you all think doesn't deserve a relationship with God? And that's what I really wanted. And I think the effect of it is as intended. And if people feel like, you know, that's not what it should be, then that's not what then let them consult Jesus. But otherwise, yeah, man. Yeah.
All right. I just realized that, you know, we're 10, 15 minutes into the show and we've not even played a song. I don't know how this is working today, but this is not how it usually works.
Yeah.
So I want you to surprise me with any song right now. You know, you brought a guitar, so
okay.
You know, how about some live music?
Yeah. All right. Hey, guys, man, I don't even know how to play now, eh? So chilled.
You're the master of Isenge.
All right, so I don't.
You want to tell us a song you're going to give us and what it talks about?
Okay, cool. So the first song that I guess I'll play is let's see. Okay, cool. And so the first song that I'm gonna play is called "Drinks on Me."
Drink.
So I played this song. I made this song when I was in Bible college.
Bible college?
Yeah. I had this friend of mine who loved the blues. He was my roommate. His name is Michael Watson. And so one morning I just woke up. I felt like I was drunk in the spirit. So I just told him, like, Michael, like, I got this song that'll make you drunk. I remember the first time I played it. We played it at this thing called Synergy, and I played it for 2 hours, bro. People just couldn't stop, bro.
I know, right?
Just jumping.
That song, though.
It was quite crazy. So
Drinks on Me is a huge song, man. It's got an impact on me. I love it.
All right, man.
Yeah. So hit it.
Yeah.
Drinks on me. I said that's what Jesus told me. Drinks on me. I know it sounds a little crazy. Drinks on me. I said the Holy Ghost has told me. I said the Holy Ghost has told me. We're gonna get you drunk tonight. It's on me. Though your pockets may be empty, it's on me. Yeah. And though your glasses may be empty, it's on me. Yeah. I said the Holy Ghost has told me. I said the Holy Ghost has told me. We're gonna get you drunk tonight. Said there's gonna be a Holy Ghost pouring in the house tonight. There's gonna be a drink till you get drunk. Party tonight. We will drink. We'll get drunk. We'll get high in the spirit. Hopefully, we don't have to drive tonight. Yeah. We don't have to drive tonight. Yeah. He says, come up to me. Oh, thirsty. He says, oh, thirsty. Come. said I'm on that new wine, I'm on that new wine, I'm on that new wine, said I'm on that new wine, 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 said I'm on that new wine, said I'm on that new wine, I'm on that new wine, I'm on that new wine, said I'm on that new wine, 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 said it was grace that erased my mistakes, and now that I'm alive, I'ma share his embrace, cause I know when the life couldn't do what he faced, when dying for the sins of the whole human race. So I must spread the truth from the old to the youth, and I know when the life gon' stop, but I do. So y'all best believe that this gospel is true when I meet you on the street saying Jesus loves you.
ABEL CHUNGU, ladies and gentlemen, drinks on me.
Hey, man.
I love it, man. I love it. Everything you just did right now, man.
Thank
I love
you,
this
man.
song.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate your music.
Thank you.
And everything else. Eish, man. Yeah, drinks on me. ABEL CHUNGU. Although the last part I didn't really catch on. Maybe it was a freestyle. Was it?
So it was a fusion from another song called The Evangelist.
The Evangelist.
Yeah, that's the one. But that's John 3:16. Yeah. So that's like the second verse of The Evangelist.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I need to come back. I went somewhere when you came. I need to come back here. So
Yeah.
I saw you sometime, maybe a week ago. About a week ago, you were asking people to send in videos
Yeah.
of them, doing maybe a 30 seconds or of any of the songs that you've done. Because now you are looking at people who've always asked you to sing with them.
Yeah.
Probably wanted to select or whatever. How did that?
Yeah, it's been really, really good. So it was hashtag sing with ABEL CHUNGU. For many years people have always said, or some people write to me and say, you know what, I love your music. One day I'm gonna sing with you. One day I'm gonna sing with you. So I'm just like, okay. So this time around, it was like, oh, you know what? Why don't I give somebody a chance? We're about to go into a number of events. This different. Sometimes you have different bookings for concerts. So we've got a big one coming up. So I thought, okay, why don't I give people that chance? And so I put it out there on social media. Said anybody wants to sing, and man, it's been overwhelming. There's so many talented people.
So many
talented people. At the same time, you thought I wasn't gonna say it on camera. At the same time, there are people who, just leave it. Please.
Just leave the music.
Yeah, it's nice just to admire music. Somebody just I know. I like music. Yeah.
You know what?
But
You are gonna make a horrible DJ. I'm telling you.
No.
I'll tell you this.
Why?
There are some people who, maybe you could make a good music manager. Maybe you can promote music better.
Yeah.
Or maybe you can just be a good fan.
Yes.
Like you can't sing.
Yes.
But you can't go around telling people that.
But no. But I feel like Shota, it's important that people know that. Of course, I'm not gonna tell them like, hey, you can't sing. Yeah, I think if people come to me for advice and say, can I sing? What do you think of my song? I'm very straightforward. I'll say, I didn't feel it. And why? Because like for me, how I got to where I was and how I'm still going is because I surrounded myself with people who can tell me.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. People who can tell you the truth.
My
actually.
brother was brutal. I still remember one time I remember at our house, so like the same thing. I'm playing many years ago, and then I finished playing and everyone in the room's like, wow, that was nice. And then just goes, you were singing off key. And you know what? It didn't matter how many people said I was sad. I was singing off key. So it perfected me for even like when I sang on stage. So the guy who's produced, who masters my music, Ian, was also the sound engineer at our church. So every time I would sing in church, if people would clap, I'll just walk off stage and I'll go straight to the sound booth. And I'll say, Ian, how did that sound like? Then I'll be like, hey, say at some point there it wasn't. Then I'll say, okay, play back the recording for me. So it's been a sense of, even like after this, you know what I'm saying? I was hearing some points on my voice like, yeah. And so I'd want to go back and listen to it and say, okay, because next time if I'm on a platform like, you find yourself on stage or in the Grammys or something like that, that hard work or that criticism got you to a point of perfection where now you can stand on stage and say, okay, you know what? People are like, oh, wow, those people like Whitney Houston's and what? they didn't just get to those vocals because they were just like everyone was just giving them pats on the back, man. So I think some people need to be told, like, you know what, it's best to stop now. but like I said, it's true that some people are DJs, some people are managers. They're passionate about music, so maybe they'll make better managers, you know. But yeah,
But the problem is they want to also be.
that's the thing. That's the thing, man. And I think, like, you know, we have to realize that, you know, you can't. There's the people that are most powerful in the music industry are not even musicians.
Yes.
Like
No,
the
no,
ones
no.
who run the music industry.
They're not even musicians.
Yeah, the ones who make you sign the contracts.
not.
These are investors.
In the background, yeah.
Find this guy studied engineering, whatnot,
Yes.
then decided, let me open a label, and then signed artists and made millions off them because, you know, he's got management skills and different things. So I think at the end of the day, like, music, I've even, like, from the first, I remember the first time I won an award at the ZMAs in 2015, and I said on stage, I said, music will not progress unless it has a good relationship with corporates. You know what I'm saying? And the problem is, I think as long as corporate individuals in this country continue to look down on artistry, you know what I'm saying? You have marketing teams who are sitting there and somebody suggests a name and they're like, I know that guy. You know, you know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, forgetting that what you're marketing is in terms of influence. Showstar has influence. Whether you like it or not, you can hate, you can say whatever, but it has influence. Why would you not want to use him? You know what I'm saying? Find your marketing teams using him. Meanwhile,
because they have a personal.
you know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, you're doing all these road shows and different things, but at the end of the day, the most important thing is influence. You know, how do we channel influence? I tell many even organizations, I say, you know, the money you pay for a billboard, you know, somebody has more views on that on Facebook. People are viewing that person's page. You know, so there needs to be that understanding of guys like LeBron James, anyone in the States, doesn't just make the money off their salaries. Endorsements are the biggest thing because the corporate companies are the ones who are willing to pay more money than even whatever team you're playing for or whatever, you know, label you're with. Because when they say, like, if Drake's gonna wear our watch, how much are we gonna pay Drake to wear our watch? Those are the kind of things that I'm talking about that I think we need to start working towards.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I like it. The statement you said when you picked up that award, you know, those awards at the ZMA, is really important, and I think we need to re-emphasize and educate people who are in these board meetings trying to make these decisions. And what you just said, everything you said about that can't be re-emphasized because it's plain truth, and people need to go for it and support our logos. Because I've seen certain brands that are here. They'll like the same brand here and the same brand maybe in another country like Nigeria.
Exactly.
They will not support as much here, but the ones that maybe are in Nigeria, they will always go all out for those musicians. I'm like, you don't communicate to see how much numbers, you know, make an impact for a brand. I don't know. It's one of those.
And the local numbers make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just like we don't want to maximize on that.
Because the local people here, they resonate with this guy.
Yes.
Because he's the here guy.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot. It's a lot. And that's what I feel like we can even work on that sense of, now I'm giving these people because they should be taking notes.
Please do.
You know what I'm saying? What I also feel like, so you have a local brand which has local buying power.
Yes, local buying power.
But wants to invest more. Their adverts are showing more international people. You know what I'm saying? It's not showing, and I feel like the brands that have worked with the local, if you checked out the top 10.
Oh yeah,
brands.
I can. I'm gonna be charged, but yeah, look at those two brands.
Yes, those two brands. Why is it those two? Because they've
used
connected
a
with
lot
the
of
local
local.
market.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You assume the local market doesn't have that, but they have buying power. Even in terms of music, they're the ones who are buying the collarback ringtones. They're the ones who, if your show was they will show up in numbers. But that's not a market we're maximizing on. And even these corporate companies, they're trying to make millions off a small market of middle class. You know what I'm saying? And the middle class is also shrinking currently. But that's why we need to be able to access, you know, these local people, because sometimes like people ask me like, why don't you do shows in one? I'm like, you know, promoters should hit me up. You know what I'm saying?
Wanshitisha webo, wambona wansekesha wanshitisha webo, lelo nasumina nefyo balanda ati ya meno ya mwamu na mafupa ukulunde peye ukakunyanta efyo banje bele ineva mayo. You will never know your friends, no, until you find yourself in times of trouble. You will never know your friends, no, until you find yourself. Oh, oh, oh. Do 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 do. Oh yo yo, oh yo yo. Do 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 do. Oh yo yo, oh yo yo. Do 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 do. Oh yo yo, oh yo yo. Ah. Munandi we, munandi wakale. Munandi munkaloe. Wambona wansekesha wanchitisha webo. Wambona wansekesha wanchitisha webo. Lelo nasumina nefyo balanda ati ya meno ya mwamu na mafupa ukulunde peye ukakunyanta efyo banje bele ineva mayo. You will never know your friends, no, until you find yourself in times of trouble. You will never know your friends, no, 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 until you find yourself. Oh, oh, do 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 do. Oh yo yo, oh yo yo. Do 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 do. Oh yo yo, oh yo yo. Do 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 do. Oh yo yo, oh yo yo. Do 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 do. Oh yo yo, oh yo yo. Do 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 do.